Deixa ele ir, Joelson. Ah! Cala a boca dele! Cala a boca dele!
Have you ever found yourself pondering the difference in the developmental journey of a child growing up in Brazil versus one in America? Today, we embark on an in-depth exploration of this fascinating contrast. Let's immerse ourselves in the captivating stories of two imaginary individuals, Pedro from the vibrant streets of Brazil and James from the typical neighborhoods of America. Imagine you're Pedro, born into the lively tapestry of Brazil. From the tender age of 2-3, you're immersed in the distinct culture of barefoot football, engaging in spirited matches with your cousins on the uneven and sometimes prickly streets of your neighborhood. Sure, there are stumbles and falls, but your low center of gravity and innate fascia integration act as a protective shield. The hardness of the Brazilian streets becomes a natural stimulant for your feet, fostering strength and resilience in accordance with the challenging environment. Stepping onto the ground triggers a cascade of sensory signals through your developing fascia network, from the tips of your toes to your ever-evolving brain. Fast forward to the age of 8, and you find yourself playing with older boys, participating in the age-old tradition of barefoot football on unpredictable terrains. Unbeknownst to you, this practice inadvertently nurtures the development of your fascia system. The dynamic nature of these street matches demands constant adaptation. Engaging the intricate network of connective tissues in your feet, the experience becomes an essential and unconscious workout for your fascial network, fostering not only strength and flexibility, but also a heightened sense of proprioception. Those carefree moments of playing football without shoes shape not only your dazzling skills, but also fortify the foundation of your body's interconnected fascial network, contributing to the unparalleled fluidity and agility that will define your future football career. Now let's shift our focus to James, growing up in America, where wearing shoes is the norm. Unbeknownst to him, this everyday habit unknowingly impacts the intricate workings of his body. Constantly shielded in shoes from a young age, James's sensory nerves in his feet become somewhat dulled, leading to the consequences of this disconnect. As he matures and engages in soccer, he begins feeling discomfort in his heels, eventually diagnosed as Sever's disease. Seeking relief, he's advised to wear insoles, which, while providing temporary comfort, inadvertently hinder the natural development of his foot muscles. This weakening of the foot muscles also affects his plantar fascia, his primary ground sensory unit. What started as heel pain soon turns into knee discomfort, Achilles issues, and perhaps even some groin discomfort. It's remarkable how something as seemingly mundane as wearing shoes can intricately affect the balance of the body. This comparison, of course, hinges on various factors, some genetic and others related to lifestyle and recovery. It prompts us to delve deeper into the multifaceted nature of human development and the intricate dance between nature and nurture. Consider Pedro's childhood in Brazil. The vibrant streets of São Paulo, Porto Alegre, or any Brazilian city for that matter, serve as a playground for countless young football enthusiasts. The rhythmic beats of samba and the echoes of joyful cheers create an atmosphere where the beautiful game isn't just a sport, but a cultural phenomenon. Born into this lively environment, Pedro's early years are shaped by the rhythmic thuds of the football against the worn-out concrete, the laughter of children echoing through narrow alleys, and the unmistakable sense of community that forms around the love for the game. In Brazil, football isn't just a pastime, it's a way of life, an expression of joy, and a means of overcoming challenges. As Pedro takes his first steps, the football isn't far behind. His unsteady gait soon transforms into confident strides, and the ball becomes an extension of his being. And what sets Pedro's early football experience apart is the absence of shoes. The decision to play barefoot isn't just a matter of choice, it's a reflection of the environment. Shoes, often a luxury, aren't readily available to every child. But this scarcity doesn't hinder the love for the game, it fuels it. Pedro's barefoot escapades on the streets begin around the age of 2-3, a crucial period in a child's development. This is when the foundations of balance, coordination, and spatial awareness are laid. As Pedro navigates the uneven terrain with his bare feet, a remarkable dance unfolds, one that involves not just his body but the intricate interplay of his developing fascia system. The concept of fascia, often overlooked, is a web-like network of connective tissues that permeates the entire body. It surrounds muscles, bones, nerves, and organs, providing structural support and acting as a communication system. In Pedro's case, the constant interaction between his bare feet and the diverse surfaces of the Brazilian streets becomes a symphony for his developing fascia. The hardness of the ground, the occasional pebbles or cracks, and the unpredictable nature of street football create a sensory-rich environment. Pedro's feet, devoid of the cushioning effect of shoes, become finely attuned to the feedback from the ground. This isn't just about playing a sport. It's an unintentional yet potent form of sensory stimulation, a natural massage for the soles of his feet. As Pedro kicks the ball, jumps, and pivots, his fascia is dynamically engaged. The fascial network is not just a passive structure, it's an active participant in movement and coordination. The barefoot experience becomes a nuanced dance, activating different layers of fascia with every step. The low center of gravity, a natural consequence of playing barefoot, enhances Pedro's stability and balance, key elements in the early stages of motor development. Now, let's shift our perspective to James growing up in America, where the cultural landscape is different, and the ubiquitous presence of shoes is unquestioned. The suburban neighborhoods, neatly lined with manicured lawns and asphalted streets, provide a different backdrop for James's childhood. From the moment he takes his first steps, shoes are an integral part of his journey. In contrast to Pedro's barefoot escapades, James experiences the world through the lens of shoes from the outset. The protective covering, while shielding him from the immediate sensations of the ground, also becomes a barrier that alters the natural course of sensory development. The cushioned soles of his shoes dampen the feedback from the ground, creating a buffer between his feet and the environment. As James grows older and discovers the joy of playing soccer, his choice of footwear remains consistent with the cultural norm. The soccer cleats, while designed for the sport, continue the legacy of keeping the feet shielded. The shoes, now a staple in his daily life, inadvertently contribute to a sensory disconnection between James's feet and the ground. The first signs of this disconnection become evident when James experiences discomfort in his heels, diagnosed as Sever's disease, a condition characterized by inflammation of the growth plate in the heel. The diagnosis prompts a search for solutions, leading to the introduction of insoles. While providing relief for the immediate issue, the insoles introduce a new dynamic into the equation. The purpose of insoles is to provide additional support and cushioning, compensating for the perceived inadequacies in the foot's natural structure. However, what might seem like a solution for heel pain becomes a double-edged sword. The insoles, by offering an artificial layer of support, inadvertently interfere with the natural movement patterns of the foot. The foot's intricate arches, designed to absorb shock and adapt to varying surfaces, are now subjected to a uniform support system. In essence, James's foot muscles, deprived of the need to adapt and strengthen in response to the ground's variability, undergo a subtle but significant transformation. The weakened foot muscles, in turn, affect the function of the plantar fascia, a vital component of the foot's fascial network responsible for proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space. As James continues to play soccer and engage in various physical activities, the consequences of the altered foot mechanics become more apparent. What started as heel pain evolves into knee discomfort, Achilles issues, and perhaps even some groin discomfort. The interconnected nature of the body's musculoskeletal system means that an imbalance in one area can reverberate through others. The narrative of James, although fictional, reflects a pattern observed in individuals whose early years involve consistent shoe usage and interventions like insoles. The unintentional consequence is a disruption in the natural development of the foot's intricate biomechanics and the interconnected fascial system. Returning to Pedro's story in Brazil, the barefoot journey continues to unfold as he reaches the age of 8. At this stage, Pedro finds himself playing with older boys, embracing the age-old tradition of barefoot football on increasingly unpredictable terrains. The uneven surfaces, the occasional protruding stones, and the dynamic nature of these street matches add a new layer of complexity to the developmental narrative. Pedro's body, now more resilient and attuned to the demands of barefoot play, undergoes a unique form of conditioning. The proprioceptive feedback from his feet to his brain becomes a well-coordinated dance, enhancing his spatial awareness and responsiveness to the ever-changing environment. The fascial network, intricately interwoven through his muscles and connective tissues, becomes a dynamic force in every movement. The unpredictability of street football becomes a teacher of adaptability. Pedro's movements are not predetermined. They are responses to the immediate demands of the game. The twists, turns, and abrupt changes in direction engage his fascial system in ways that traditional footwear could never replicate. The lack of constraint allows Pedro's foot arches to flex and adapt, providing a natural shock absorption mechanism. The dynamic engagement of his fascia extends beyond the foot, involving the intricate web of connective tissues throughout his legs. The fascial lines, interconnected like a three-dimensional spiderweb, transmit force and tension with each movement. As Pedro kicks the ball, his fascial system acts like a kinetic chain, seamlessly transferring energy from the ground, through his legs, and into the ball. The beauty of barefoot ball lies not just in the skillful maneuvers and dazzling tricks, but in the intricate dance between the body and its environment. Pedro's proprioception, finely tuned through years of barefoot play, allows him to intuitively navigate the space around him. The spatial awareness, coupled with the adaptability of his fascial system, contributes to the unparalleled fluidity and agility that define his unique style of play. In contrast, James in America continues his journey with shoes and insoles. The heel pain that prompted the use of insoles is alleviated, but the altered foot mechanics persist. As he progresses in soccer and other physical activities, the repercussions of weakened foot muscles and compromised proprioception become more apparent. The knee discomfort, a result of altered biomechanics, prompts further interventions. Perhaps additional orthotics are introduced, providing a temporary solution but perpetuating the cycle of external support. The interconnected nature of the body's systems means that addressing one issue often leads to compensatory adjustments elsewhere. As James reaches adolescence, the cumulative effects of his early experiences become more pronounced. The weakened foot muscles, initially a consequence of insole usage, now contribute to altered biomechanics in the entire lower limb. The proprioceptive deficits extend beyond the foot, affecting his overall sense of balance and coordination. The intricate dance between Pedro and James, although fictional, reflects the nuanced interplay between environment, footwear choices, and the development of the fascial system. The streets of Brazil and the suburban neighborhoods of America serve as contrasting canvases, shaping the trajectories of these two imaginary individuals. Pedro's barefoot journey, rooted in the cultural fabric of Brazil, becomes a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the human body. The challenges of the uneven streets, the scarcity of shoes, and the joyous chaos of street football inadvertently contribute to the harmonious development of his fascial system. The interconnectedness of his body, from the soles of his feet to the intricate web of fascia, becomes a living example of the body's innate capacity to adapt and thrive. In contrast, James's narrative in America highlights the unintentional consequences of a culture where shoes are ubiquitous. The protective barrier provided by shoes, while a norm in his environment, becomes a double-edged sword. The interventions like insoles, aimed at addressing immediate issues, inadvertently disrupt the natural progression of foot development and the intricate dance of the fascial system. The contrasting experiences of Pedro and James prompt a reflection on our own choices and environments. The narrative is not a critique of one approach over the other, but an exploration of the intricate dance between nature and nurture in the context of human development.